It's traditional that I give a talk this night every year, and even though this is probably the most untraditional year that I have ever seen in my life, I think we should have a talk. This is the craziest year I've ever experienced, bar none. And I don't think it's going to get better very soon. My old friend, Nityananda's devotee and Rudy's friend, Chakrapani Ulal, who's an astrologer, writes a blog every week. And last week he wrote about the fact that the US, the United States, has gone into its Rahu major cycle and its Rahu minor cycle. That means it's the first period in the cycle of Rahu. And Rahu is considered to be the most poisonous. Rahu is not a planet, first of all, it's a shadow that is cast by the relationship between the sun and the moon. And Rahu is the most poisonous of all the indicators in the Vedic zodiac. Rahu represents the most evil, if you care to think like that. It also represents the highest good. And Rahu's powerful action on the United States is clearly seen in the political activity of the last 6 months. Also, from the Chinese astrological point of view, the year of the monkey is really a crazy year, followed by the year of the rooster, or the blowhard, followed by the year of the pig. What we're going to see is the largest ripoff of the U.S. economy in the history of the world. Okay. Rahu is going to be in play for the next 18 years. Fortunately, Rahu minor cycle is followed by Jupiter minor cycle, and that's a period in which coincides with the Chinese year of the rat, the beginning of the zodiac, and that will be a period when more stability and better judgment will begin to happen in the political circles in the United States. There's nothing we're going to do about this. And the reason I'm even talking to you about it at all is because I think, it reminds me of when I was in college in 1970. And it was really the darkest days of the Vietnam War, and there were so many terrible things that had happened in the 60s, and so many extraordinarily amazing things had happened at the same time. And this period of Rahu minor cycle in the United States is also a period in which we will see, on a small scale, many wonderful good things start to happen. And many people and many small efforts to do good to other people we will see and experience. So I think it's really important, most of you guys here we're together for every day for the last 45 years. So I'm preaching to the choir in a sense, but it's really important that, first of all, that you know who you are. I'll give you an example. Are you seriously committed to the supremacy of white males, and you think that white men deserve and have a right to dominate the world? If you do, well, first of all, you're in the wrong place. But second of all, you should go find people who believe like you do and have fellowship with those people. I'm a person who, first of all, believes in the importance of personal cultivation. I believe that all human beings are in this world for only one reason. And that one reason is the reason that every living being on this planet exists. That reason is to grow. Now, I don't go around trying to define what growing means for everyone, because then I think, I'm just another ideologue pushing selling a cookbook to people, that inevitably is untrue. It might make me rich, but it's not going to help anybody else at all. So I want each of us to understand for ourselves what growing means. And I try to share with you a set of tools to help you come to that understanding for yourself. I believe each of us is in this world to grow. I also believe each of us in our growing is profoundly interconnected with everyone else and with all the life on this planet. And so that sets up an ethical constraint for me, because my growing should not harm anybody else's growing. And in its highest expression, my growth should support the growth of all the life that is. Coming out of the 60s, I believe in rock music. I believe in the blues. I believe in that more than I believe in any other kind of music. But I like and appreciate every kind of music. Just like I like and appreciate every country on earth and every food that is produced in every country except Tibet, which has the worst frigging food on the face of the earth. God help the Tibetans. I believe in social and economic justice. I believe there is enough right now on the planet for everybody, and I believe nobody needs to have more money in the bank than they can spend the interest on. I believe that. I believe there's plenty to go around, and everybody can have, the people who want to have a lavish life can have it, but why they need to start making interest on their interest, to me, that's unjust. You believe what you want. I believe if we had a society that properly educated and was committed to educating everyone, we would begin to see that diversity, is an extraordinary blessing. We would begin to see our culture flow and flower in ways that, would shock and surprise us positively. I believe most of the violence on earth arises out of poverty. I also believe poverty can be extinguished, beginning with a little food and the understanding of the abundance that is alive inside us. Most of the great spiritual people in the history of the world embraced poverty. One, because it was safer to embrace. Nobody was going to steal anything from you if you were poor. But the other was because there are certain limits to our needs, and beyond that, it's irrelevant. Where I'm going to with all of this is that, most importantly, I believe that community is the evolutionary advantage of human beings, and in this time of exponential population growth. Oh, and by the way, most of you know, I did a bunch of population studies at MIT which doesn't make me smart, it made me lucky, in the 80s. And every one of those population studies on every scale, every time exponential growth occurred, catastrophic decline inevitably followed. An exponential growth curve looks like this, and there's only one place it can go when it starts going straight up, and that's straight down. I believe that community is the evolutionary advantage of human beings, and I believe it is the only salvation for our species on this planet in the future. And I also find community to be an extraordinarily rich and beautiful source of information and understanding and wisdom. In Buddhism, community, the Sangha, is one of the three gems, one of the three precious things that are necessary for enlightenment. And we are so blessed to have the extraordinary community that we do. This community, this energy field that we share together, is really precious and beautiful. And in the coming year, and the coming years, if you protect in your mind and in your heart the preciousness of your community, whatever it is that your community is, that gem will bless and protect you in ways that you cannot anticipate. This year has been really an incredibly intense, the most intense year of my life, I think, even more intense than the year Rudy died. It's been a very intense and challenging year. It's been full of pressures and miracles and amazing occurrences and outcomes. And it's a year that I'll really happily see pass by. With the understanding that the coming year is likely to be equally or more turbulent. But knowing that I am surrounded by, participating in, grounded in this precious community, and the extraordinary experience and respect and affection that we share. It's truly extraordinary. I fully expect that the coming years, these difficult years, and then as it becomes a little better, will be years that bless us with the possibility to complete, each of us individually, to complete our work in this world. And coming to the close of our days, have the capacity to hold within our hearts the only thing that is really important when we die. The only thing that's really important is when we die, there should be enough light in our hearts to scare away the devil. Thank you all for this community. Thank you. Every feature of it is really remarkable. Remembering the place that we started in Bloomington, Indiana, that we could be in this amazing and beautiful space, in this amazing and beautiful place, is just an unimaginable possibility. Thank you for the hard work that you do, all of you. Thank you for the quality of the food that we eat. Thank you for the music on Wednesday afternoons in the living room. Thank you for the chanting and the pujas. Thank you for, the dry roof, the warm rooms, the clean house. Thank you for the art that we share and the poetry. This is really quite a remarkable place, and you're all quite a remarkable group of people whom I am deeply grateful to have the opportunity to share my life with. So, as this year is finished and the next year, the rising up again of the sun into the sky unfolds, I hope every step of this is filled with blessings equal to the challenges that we will face. And moving from this year, let our hearts into the next, let our hearts be larger and our caring be more abundant and our joys be richer. Happy New Year, everybody.